have a good old time driving a Lotus Evora GT, everybody. Absolutely. Hello everyone, my name is Adam and welcome to Driven Nashville. Today I get to talk about a very cool Lotus Evora GT, a 2021, one of the final years they're ever going to produce this car. Now, why I love this car is because it has a supercharged V6 Toyota Source engine making 416 horsepower and 317 pounds of torque. Does 0 to 60 in about 4 seconds, has a 6-speed manual. Oh yes, that beautiful 6-speed manual that's dying. It is mid-engine. You know, it has two 45 front tires, two 95 rear tires, 19-inch wheels, 20 on the back, you know, AP Racing slotted, rotors. It's just such a cool car. It's got Sparco racing seats. It weighs 3,100 pounds, runs a quarter mile in 12.4. I just think this is one of the most underappreciated cars on the market right now. I want to do a big shout out to Carlock Motor Cars in Brentwood, Tennessee. I'm going to go ahead and put the window sticker on the screen right here so you can see the for sale price is listed around $106. And call Tanner Mashburn over there. He is the Lotus rep for them, and he'll be happy to talk to you about this vehicle and help you find a home for it if you're interested in it. I gotta say, I'm gonna do my absolute best with this review today. You know, we're gonna talk about the interior, we're gonna talk about the exterior, we're gonna do a driving point of view for you. Hope you all enjoyed the introduction montage. And yeah, thanks. Let's go on and get into this. I just wanna say real quick, thank you so much for your comments, all your likes, and you know, sharing the content we've been producing for the last few years. I sincerely appreciate it. I don't really know where the vision is for Driven Nashville at the end of the day, but I just do this because I love cars. I love producing car content. You know, we're heading into a world where electricity and EVs are dominating, and you know, this is definitely a dying breed of enthusiast cars, right? So why we can still enjoy them, let's go ahead and just put it out there. I hope you all enjoy the content as always. Please like and subscribe. And let's go on into some of the exterior details of this car, which I think are absolutely fantastic. All right, so I wanted to talk about some of the exterior styling. I think that Lotus absolutely nailed this vehicle. This is called Midnight Black. Actually, no, it's called Motorsport Black. And hopefully you can guys see the flake on this car. It's fantastic. Now you do see a ton of aero. Now the Evora lights really haven't changed all that much, but the front end splitter has gotten more and more aggressive. You know, you have air inlets here. This whole thing is open and exposed. The front trunk does not open, just so you all know. It's kind of an interesting language, but they didn't do that. This also kind of cuts in a little bit to channel air around the car. You have air that goes in here and then shoots out here. And then you also have this rear wing, which is just one of the most beautiful design rear ends. Now this car does not have the carbon fiber here and does not have the carbon fiber bonnet, so you do get to see the beautiful V6 Lotus engine. A couple of the other design languages I absolutely love. I mean, just look at the back end. Is that not the best back end in the business? It looks like the Ferrari 488, right, with the circular headlights. You have the incredible way they've designed the rear wing, the centerfold exhaust, or the center exhaust here. You know, you have these really cool diffusers. This is all carbon fiber. And then I don't know if you can see this, but notice this is open, right? And carbon fiber. So, you know, that helps channel air, and I don't know if that cools the brakes or the tires. Now these wheels are Michelin Cup 2 tires. They're 20-inch on the rear and 19 on the front. As I mentioned earlier, they're 295 30s. So they're very, you know, pretty fat tires for a car that's this small and light. This is the diamond cut wheels. These are the upgraded wheels per the window sticker. And you also see on most Evoras, they kind of have this protection area. And then look down here, you see how this is kind of cut out as well. So overall, I just absolutely love the look of this car. I think it's unique. I think it's rare. Check out the red AP Racing brakes. I mean, it's just fantastic. It's just one of the best looking cars. I think you're gonna get a ton of attention in this car. It's different, it's unique. You just don't see it every day. It's not, you know, your Porsche Cayman that you're gonna see at every car show. And that's what makes it special. You know, it's got that Lotus DNA, it's got that Lotus charm. And don't get me wrong, I've got a deposit for a Emira, so I'm extremely, you know, excited about the new one, but this one still is a really good looking car. You know, the new one's gonna be great too, I'm sure, but there's nothing wrong with this car. This is gonna age so well. In 30 years, it's gonna look just as cool as it does right now. All right, coming on to the inside of the car, you know, one of the things they've really improved on the Evora, that the Lotus Elise that I reviewed, and just a lot of, frankly, the Lotus models previous to this, they didn't really have the best interior quality. You know, this really is nice though. It's got nice kind of soft touch leather. It's got great stitch lines. It's got, you know, the Alcantara inlay here. You got the color contrast, white and red stitching. You know, you got nice little black, kind of metallic chrome pieces in here. You know, it feels nice. And as you step into the vehicle, I guess the new Emira they're coming out with has a completely redesigned center stack here. And, you know, one of the common zonks about the car is that this is basically an Alpine unit you'd probably find at a Best Buy of the world. But beyond that, I mean, this is still a very driver-focused, well laid out. You know, you have the ability to do sport and race and change your exhaust modes. You have a couple of screens here. Yeah, they're old-fashioned looking and whatnot, but you know, you get what you want as a driver, right? You see your fuel, you see your PSI, you know, right now it's reading 100 degrees. I'm telling you, it's absolutely smoking hot right now. And then this is, you know, just an old-school fashion gauge cluster. I am excited about the Emira just because it's going to be really modern and cool, but in the end of the day, I still like, you know, having an analog gauge cluster. It's always fun. You do have the ability to do your cruise control here on the steering wheel. You have the nice, you know, this right here has Alcantara and leather. So if you want to do it 9 and 3, you got a nice leather piece here so you don't really ruin it. It's the negative of Alcantara, you know, it can really start to pick up the oils and whatnot from your hand. And then as you come down here, the center stack, you've got the 6-speed, you've got the ability to do your air control. Most of your AC controls are all listed here. You know, this does have Apple CarPlay and Bluetooth audio, but most of the buttons are here. And to be honest with you, this does have the upgraded sound system, so it does sound fairly good. But you're not going to win any, you know, infotainment awards with this car, that's for sure. Coming around here to the passenger, I mean, you can see here you've got Mr. Andrew Ellis here, who did Hand Built in England plaque right there. Absolutely love that. It's a really nice detail. And then it's just nice, guys. I mean, you know, you have this nice carbon fiber here as well with the Lotus brand in there. I wanted to take a second to talk about these seats. They're basically sourced from Sparco, and they're actually fairly comfortable here. And just look at them. I mean, they're really, really nice. They have nice, you know, design language in them here. You can get these in different colors here. Sometimes you'll see them in red or yellow, right? But this is a pretty subdued spec overall. They are not, you know, to save weight, they are, you know, a manual, right? And you can see here, if you want to adjust the seat, you adjust it right here. You do have a nice carbon fiber back, which is cool. And then you actually do have a couple of rear seats here. So you can torture a couple of adults if you want. All right, coming down to the rear of the seats here, you can put a couple of seat belts here if you want to take it to the track. You do have nice carbon fiber back here. You do see the rear window here, which you get a little bit of visibility, and you can actually see the V6, and you can even see the module that controls the intake, which is really cool. This car does come with a couple of rear back seats, but they are definitely going to be a torture for any adults. No, I'm not going to jump in here. I mean, you can see you have virtually no room. When I put the seat back, I'm pretty much all the way there. So for me, the only time I can maybe get one of my small kids in the back would be on that side. All right, here is the Toyota sourced V6 engine, putting out about 417 horsepower. And you know, it's a nice engine, sounds really good. It doesn't sound like the engine that you find in, I don't know, your normal Toyota Camry of the world. And then you do have a nice rear trunk back here, so it can actually be a fairly practical car. You know, I've got my backpack, got my drone, got some shoes and towels and whatnot. So overall, you know, I'm not saying you're going to want to take this on a long trip, but, you know, at least you can go to the grocery store, get a few things, and it has a little bit of practicality. Now, I will say, when that engine's on, you are going to get quite a bit of heat back here, so you probably don't want to come home and pick up some Ben & Jerry's and whatnot, because that is going to melt if you got a nice little long drive to get home. You probably want to put that in the passenger seat. All right, similar to the Lotus Evora, Lotus Elise that I reviewed, you know, here is the Lotus key. When you want to turn it on, you have to hit this immobilizer button. Otherwise, the car will not engage. So the startup sequence is fairly easy, right? Come around here, insert the key, put your foot on the clutch, turn it, hit that button, okay? Come over here where it says engine start, and the car will go ahead and engage. And just make sure, of course, you're in neutral. So that is the startup sequence. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling like a drive. Let's go ahead and see how she performs. All right, let's take this car for a drive, shall we? So, First things I want to mention, it's got hydraulic steering, so it's got quite a bit of weight to it. You know, if you're at a stop, if you're pretty much at a dead stop, you know, it's not as hard as the Elise was, but it's pretty heavy, and it's pretty heavy all the time. And the other thing that's interesting is the clutch is not light. It's definitely got a pretty good throw. You got to really push it to engage it. However, engaging the car, you know, first, second, third, rows through the gear is pretty good. You know, you can see here, if you want to just baby it, you can. One of my favorite little details, I don't know if you can see it in the mirror here, but that little throttle opens and closes on it. I absolutely love that. But let's go ahead and see how it performs, shall we? And you can go ahead and hear it. So you can see, it really does scream pretty darn good. It really likes to run out. You get max horsepower at 7,000 RPMs. You can absolutely just smash through the gears. Brakes are great. You know, you're not gonna outdo the brakes. I mean, look how balanced that is. I mean, it's absolutely fantastic. You know, this car really, really drives great, but you gotta be a good driver to exploit it. That's one of my favorite parts about driving the Lotus. You know, when I was reviewing the Elise, this feels very similar. It's a fantastic car, but because it's not super fast, you the driver, have to exploit it, right? You got to be the one that really extracts that performance. You know, you got to keep the revs up. You got to heel toe it if you want to come into a turn really hot. That's the fun part. You know, if you're looking for a car that pretty much does the driving for you and really keeps up with the pack, this is not going to be the one. But I tell you, as a driver, this is it. This is almost as good as it gets. I mean, this is right there, you know, with the GT4, right? You know, it sounds pretty good, I gotta say. You could probably hear it on camera. We have the windows up, we have the air conditioning on, but you can hear the supercharger whine pretty darn good. And I just love this road. It's so beautiful, you know? So coming out of the turn, that right there is full throttle. So like I said, you know, you really gotta be up in the RPMs if you really want to exploit the car. You know, if you're gonna give it full throttle, like right now at 3,500, 60, 70, 80, very similar to the Elise, right? It just doesn't have that get up and go. It's not a slow car by any means. It does run the quarter mile in 12.4, but in the end of the day, you're not gonna win any drag races with the Evora. But I gotta say, I don't think you're gonna have much more fun in many more cars than this. I mean, it's absolutely incredible how balanced it is. It's just so much fun. You know, if you want to baby the car and just enjoy it, you know, you want to drop it in fourth, doing 40 miles an hour, you can do it. You know, the cabin quality in the Evora is much better. I'm not hearing a lot of rattles or really any, I mean, yeah, you hear road noise, you hear the engine, you hear the supercharger, but if you just want to enjoy the day, you know, maybe you want to have a conversation with your lady, this car is absolutely a car you could do that with. It's not so raw like the Elise was. You know, the Elise was so loud, you constantly heard everything. It just didn't really make for a good grand touring car, but this car definitely has that pleasant kind of, I can go on a nice Sunday cruise factor that I really like. And of course, the best part about it is, you know, if you want to come into a turn and then you want to just freaking smash it, you can, right? It's just fun. God. I mean, what more do you want? So what? It's not super, super fast, right? But that's still 85, 90 miles an hour. I mean, that is where the fun is, right? Get to freaking road through the gears and have a good time and not get over 100, so that if you did get caught by the law enforcement of the world, you know, you're not going to go to jail, right? They're not going to impound the car. One thing I just don't like about a lot of these modern cars is they're just too fast, right? You know, they have so much power that you just can't really enjoy them. So, $100,000 car, you know, especially as we head into an EV world, this is going to be collectible, right? This is going to be one of those cars that, you know, you're going to want to enjoy and you're going to want to drive, you know, for many, many years. I think it's going to age really, really well. I really do. I mean, come on, that's pretty darn good. This car is not slow by any means. I mean, you are going to roast some tires, but at the same time, I don't think you're going to get into a lot of trouble with it, which is really ideal, right? You can really run through the gears, enjoy it like I'm saying, but at the same time, not be going so fast that you just have to constantly be worried about, you know, who's going to catch me, or, you know, who's going to call my car, you know, out to the cops so that they come track me down, right? It's just a fun car, you know? Really, really is a fun, fun car. Ugh, so balanced. Fantastic engine. You know, it's got 317 pounds of torque, but it's plenty. I mean, sure, it could always have more power, you know, it could always have more horsepower, more torque, but it really feels like enough, you know? Once the transmission's warmed up, once the brakes are warmed up like they are now, it feels really, really good, I gotta say. I absolutely love these back roads. You just can't beat them. I will say the shift from first to second's a little clunky, but once you're out of first, you know, you can really go for it. You can really enjoy the shifts like I'm doing, right? But I tell you what, if you want to extract the performance, you got to keep the revs up. You know, third gear and fourth gear is probably where you're going to spend most of your time, or even second gear if you're really coming into some tight turns. In similar ways, the Porsche GT4 is like that. I mean, pretty much the entire time I did that review, you're never going to get out of third. I mean, you know, not if you really want to keep the speed up. It's so fun. What a great car. I hope the sound of the car is coming through. I mean, you know, again, it's never going to sound as good to me as I'm driving it that it's going to come across on the mic, but, you know, I do my best. But it's a lot of fun. Woohoo! Nothing quite like Tennessee country roads, a mid-engine sports car. Yeah, how much better can it get, right? I gotta say, that engine does sound flippin' fantastic. It really, really does. Really sounds good. It's amazing what they can do with a Camry V6, you know? They tune the exhaust, put a supercharger on it, and boy does that thing wail. Sounds as good as any engine out there. I mean, you know, it's not gonna win any awards as far as sound or looks or performance, but it definitely is not a negative on the car. It really isn't. It's just a great power plant. Real quick, if you were curious what type of fuel the Lotus Evora takes, it takes premium. And at lovely $4.99, it's a little more costly to run, but I gotta say, it's pretty good on fuel economy. You're looking about, I don't know, an average of 20 miles a gallon. If you're smashing on it, you're gonna get less, but it's pretty decent on the highway. All right, everyone, that was my Lotus Evora GT overview. I gotta say, I had my camera overheat multiple times today. It is literally that hot. So, I did my best. I had to take the camera off, put it in front of the air conditioning for the vehicle. But let's summarize this car. For a little over $100,000, you get exclusivity. I mean, let's be honest, how many Lotus Evora GTs you're gonna see driving around? 1, 2 in your city, maybe. You're gonna get performance, right? Sure, it's not gonna win any drag races. It's not gonna win the quarter mile and be like, you know, the new Model S Plaid, right? Or smoke any of the turbocharged cars from any of the other manufacturers, but it's fun. You know, you can really enjoy the performance, right? You can go from second, third, fourth, fifth in the country and not always be over 100 miles an hour every time you do it, right? As I tried to show you. I mean, the fun factor when you're driving around on the streets and not on the track is between 40 and 120, right? I mean, when really are you gonna go over 120 miles an hour other than the highway and or the track? So to me, this is kind of where this car shines. I absolutely love the look. I mean, come on. It's such a nice looking car. Even in black, I mean, but if this was a light color, right, or one of the more exotic blues that they make, or the exotic greens that they make, or the yellows, or the oranges, it's just a really cool, fun car. I gotta say, I love this car. I mean, it's fun, you know, it sounds good, it's mid-engine, it's just fun to smash around turns. It's got a decent interior, doesn't rattle like the Elise did, right? Now, I'm sure the new Emira they got coming is gonna take this car and just take it to the next level, right? Even better interior quality, even better electronics, and then you're still gonna get the same engine and similar performance. And of course, you still have that lovely 6-speed, right? Which is dying. So I really hope you all enjoyed the video. As you guys know, I love shooting it. Wasn't expecting it to be 100 degrees and humid today, but hey, we do our best. We got global warming going on, and unfortunately, these type of vehicles are contributing to that. I am very aware of it. But let's be honest, if you buy one of these cars, you're not gonna daily this car. You're gonna take it out every once in a while, and you're gonna enjoy it for what it is, right? I daily drive my Tesla because, you know, I wanna enjoy that car for its benefits, but when I want to have a good time and I wanna take it out to the country, I'd rather be in one of these, frankly. You know, this is definitely gonna be that X-Factor experience that I think a lot of people are looking for. It's just a fun car. So I hope you all enjoyed the review and got to get a good feel for what this car is like and how it looks and performs. My name is Adam. I really appreciate you all watching. Please like and comment and subscribe so we can continue to bring you awesome content. I try to post a video once a week. It takes a lot of time and effort to do these, but it is a labor of love. All right, everyone. I'll catch you on the next one. That's it for me. Let's roll that beautiful drone montage and call this one a day, shall we?